Hey guys, um, I'm gonna talk about my thoughts, like my feelings right now, you could say. Um, so recently I just got out of a really long relationship, which was great. It was really great. Um, I miss it a lot, but in the end it was for the better. Um, I wish it could have went differently, you could say, but in the end I know it's for the better and I know it's for the better of us, which hurts. I never really wanted to break up with her, like ever. But in the end, I mean, basically why we broke up is I'm moving back to my home city and I don't want her to feel stuck and heartbroken when I leave because no one wants to feel like that. I feel no one ever wants to feel heartbroken. And that's why I broke it off now. It's because I don't want her to be hurting I don't want to be hurting as well while we're both hurting because I'm leaving. And I love her. I really do. I still do. Like, she was great. And I'm glad it went off good terms instead of it going down really badly. So it's good. But I just wish it went differently. I wish that me and her were able to stick together um, and keep fighting through what we're doing. But in the end, there's only so much we can do. um, Another feeling right now is parent disappointment. Um, I'm still in school. I'm still in high school. I graduate. Um, the feeling of disappointment from my parents hurts. It makes me feel not strong and capable enough to do a lot, which I would assume how everyone feels. Your parents are really rude sometimes. And, there may be times where they don't mean it, or there's times where they do, which in the end can always just hurt. Like, there's nothing you can really do about it. But the feeling of being disappointed and a disappointment is one of my biggest things. Because growing up, I never really had good, like, relationship with my parents. I was called disappointment all the time. I was said I was never going to be good enough, which hurts. But just the feeling of them thinking you're a disappointment is what can ruin a lot. It ruins how you see things, it ruins how you feel, which in the end, there's not much you can do, you know? The feeling of being heartbroken because your parents are disappointed in you or they think you're a failure should never happen. You should always be happy for what you do and the kind of person you are. You should always be proud of yourself. I, and when I tell you that, I promise. I know I'm strong. I know I'm a good person and I know what my parents are saying. They don't mean it. Sometimes, I would assume. But just the thought, like when they say like you're a failure, it hurts. Because then you start to think like, am I really a failure? Which in the end you're not. No one is. No one's a failure. You're trying. You're trying as much as you can. And people may not see that, but in reality you are. So I don't want you to think that you guys are failures because you made a mistake. A mistake can always be fixed. And there may be certain things where that can't be fixed. But mistakes are like learnings. You make a mistake and you learn from it in the end. So let's say like you get in a really bad relationship and you in the end just weren't feeling it and just told her and people told you, hey, she's not a good girl or she's not a good guy. That's you learning from your mistakes. You're going to learn from that and you're going to grow from that. Because learning from your mistakes in the end is the biggest thing you can do instead of just ignoring them and just leaving them by. Learn from your mistakes before you make them again. You never want to make another mistake, right? Because then you regret it in the end. Learning your mistakes, which in the end can fix a lot of things. It could fix how you see people, it could fix your relationships with people, it could fix a lot of things. If you learn from your mistakes, then later on you're going to get better and better at your mistake. So always, always learn from your mistakes instead of just ignoring it and pushing it off. Learning from your mistakes is the best thing you can do, right? Another thing that's been going on my mind is school. I sometimes don't feel like I'm smart enough to do certain things. I feel like I'm not smart enough, and I feel like I'm trying my hardest, but in the end, I'm not. Like I don't know if I'm making sense, but I feel like I'm trying. I want to believe I'm trying my hardest, but in the end, I'm struggling, and it's making me wonder if I'm smart or if I'm like struggled or whatever. But I don't want to feel that. I want to feel proud of myself and strong and have confidence in myself instead of um feeling like this over and over and over. Like I want to feel like I'm doing good in school. School's a big thing for me. I've always never really learned well in school. I've always just been a struggler. Sucks, but there's not much you can really do in the end, right? I mean, you just have to learn from it. You just got to learn as much as you can. In the end, I also was a little bit of a troublemaker, but in the end, I learned from my mistakes. Like I said, um, it sucks because in the end, that's where another part of oh, you're a failure happens with like parents or your friends or whatever because you're struggling. If you're struggling in school, I know a lot of people who like to just keep to themselves, don't mind, ignore it, but asking for a teacher's help will help you a lot more than you know. You may pass, you may not, but in the end, you tried, and that's the best thing that can happen, right? If you don't try, then nothing's going to change. I would rather try than not try at all. If I tried, then I would be more proud of myself because I know I tried. I know I tried to do this. I know I tried to complete it, but in the end, if I didn't, then I didn't. There's not much I can do, right? Um, Another big thing is my relationship with my dad. He has changed a lot ever since I moved. He's changed into a different person I never really thought I would see, which sucks. But in the end, it's a good change for him, but it's not like an actual good change because growing up, my dad was always laid back, didn't do anything, just laid around at home. And now he's a big partier because he's met this girl, which I'm proud of him for meeting a girl and like he's out doing, having fun. But he's kind of like forgotten about me, which hurts. I've kind of just been home alone all the time, which in the end, I don't ever want to be home alone. I mean, it's fun every once in a while, but when you're home alone for like, let's say, a month straight, it tends to not be very fun. So I just wish me and him were more connected. I wish me and my dad were a lot more closer with each other than we are. Because in the end, I love my dad. He's a great guy. But we never have really connected. We've always just done our own thing, which, I mean, in the end sucks, but like, we've never really tried. Like, I wish I was close with my dad. So I love my dad. He's great. But in the end, I would rather be happy with my dad, but him go out and party and have fun. I'd rather want that than me have him here and him be sad and bored and all that stuff. I'd rather him be happy and enjoying his life. You know, like it's weird, but my mom is great. I love my mom. She's always been there for me growing up. She's always have been supporting me and helping me with my decisions as much as she could, which in the end is hard. As a divorced parent, it's hard. You're a single mom trying to help your son. She's always been there for me. More, she's basically took the father figure from my dad, which is sad to say, but in the end, it's true, which sucks. But I'm very proud of my mom. She's great. I love my mom. She's always been there for me. She's super supportive and helpful. Um, but I wish things were different. I wish I lived with her because I live with my dad, right? I live in a different state than I used to, which hurts. It sucks. It really does. I miss living in my state. That's another part of my feelings is I hate where I live right now. I moved here and I knew no one here. Knew no one. I knew like no one like some random state never been to. And I grew up in Utah. Um which is great. I used to go to church and all that stuff, which in the end made me, ever since I moved, I kind of like parted from it, which sucks. It really does, because in the end, I was really into God and I really like believed in Him, and then just the more and more I left, like the worse it got, you could say. Now I don't know what I believe because it's been so long. I've lived here for 2 years, like it's been so long. I miss living where I used to live. It was basically like it's my home. Like this isn't my home. Like I mean, in reality, it is my home, but in my heart, it isn't. In my heart, it's me being with my best friends and enjoying my life, having fun instead of sitting at home working, hanging out alone in my house, which is all I do now. I don't really have any friends. I just kind of just lay back and chill. Which, I mean, in the end, everyone needs that. Everyone needs some just alone time, but not to where it's as much as where it's not always. You don't ever want to constantly be alone. You always want time with people. But in the end, I love my alone time. I love being alone. It's the best. But in the end, I know that I need to communicate with people and I need to see people because I want to be happy. In which, in the end, you can be happy being alone, but being around people can just bring so much more light to you and some more happiness to you instead of just being by yourself, right? That's what I want, which hurts because I can't. Because I don't live in Utah anymore. I live in Idaho. Idaho is a very boring place. There's nothing to do here besides look at potatoes or whatever people say about Idaho. It sucks. But in the end, I came here to support my dad. My mom wanted to support him as well. We came here for him. And I miss Utah every day. Every single day. Utah was my home. Growing up, playing baseball with my friends and running to school and hanging out at my old elementary school. Just doing fun things, not sitting at home, laying in bed, and just playing Minecraft. Like, Minecraft is great. I love Minecraft. But in the end, I want things to do. It's lonely, You feel me? Like, I miss having fun, you know? Like, I miss being out and about. I miss seeing old family. I miss, like, all this stuff that I can't see anymore because I'm gone. Something else my feelings have been feeling about lately is, my job. I don't like my job. Um, it's not great. It's not good money. I mean, in the end, I'm what? Not. It is, money shouldn't be what I'm worrying about right now. But in the end, it's why I'm working. I don't live to work. I work to. I work to live, not live to work. People need to realize that when they're working, you're not living to work. You're working to live. Like, you were not born to work. You work to be like to live. You live. You work to live. You work to have a nice house. You work for your kids. Like, don't. I always work myself. I always overwork myself, which in the end hurts. It sucks. It really does. I don't like overworking myself, but in the end I do. Like, it's not like a thing I want to do. It just in the end happens, you know? Never overwork yourself, or in the end it'll make things a lot worse. If you came from my last TikTok, thank you for the love. That was a lot. I've never gotten that much. That was really sweet, and I appreciate it. I'll be doing these probably like once every day or twice every day, just for fun. Just why not? And then maybe I'll get into like some other stuff maybe later on in the future. But yeah, I love you guys. I really do. I love you guys a lot more than you know.